Okay, so rolling around boilie. Okay guys, so if you're a little bit like me and you got to the end of your tether almost by not quite mastering the round boilie, then I've got just a few little tips for you. I won't go into the nozzle sizing too much because there's plenty of info on that out there. So what I'm going to talk about is mainly the ingredients, and one of the main bugbears is your gluten. If you can sort of minimize the gluten by minimizing your binders, you'll find that you can come away from that springiness, and that springiness is the main reason you're probably struggling to roll around boilie. Because if you imagine having a sponge and trying to mold that sponge into a particular shape, it's nigh on impossible, and this is what you're dealing with gluten and the elasticity that it creates. We've all seen bread dough and how it's live. You push it, move your hand away and it springs out. Well, that's what you want to avoid when you're mixing your paste stroke dough. So yeah, if you're using a binder containing semolina, you're probably going to encounter difficulties if you're using too much, because the the gluten content in semolina is pretty high. Soy flour not so, but generally what I find is if I work between 30 and 40% of a binder, it usually does the trick. Obviously that can vary depending on your other ingredients that you're using. CLO is another one to be wary of. Some manufacturers or processing plants will add breadcrumbs, very fine breadcrumbs to their CLO, which in turn contains a lot of gluten. So again, you're going down that springy road where you obviously, like I said, you want to avoid that. So yeah, be careful of your CLO. And also mixing times, try to give your mixer a rest. So every, say, 4 or 5 minutes, turn your mixer off, because what happens is if you leave it on constantly, as the paddle's going round, it's creating heat within your mix, which in turn can warm up the gluten strands, and that again will make it make your mix live and springy. So like I say, just let your mixer rest just for a few minutes, then restart it and do the same again. If you think that the paste needs mixing a little bit more, then just give it a rest, start the mix up again after a few minutes, and you'll find that really does help alleviate the problem of that springiness. Another thing is as well, with the binder, we all know it helps to bring everything together, all the ingredients together, but it doesn't help with the breakdown process of the boilies. So it's best to try and find that cliff edge of the binder, and what I mean by that is to the point where you drop your binder down to the stage where it will no longer roll. So get to that point and then increase the binder just slightly until you find that it will bind, and that should be the ideal rolling consistency, if you like, and it will also help your boilies to dissolve. That solubility factor, which, as most of you know, is good for the fish and helps them keep coming back for more food. Okay guys, cheers for watching. If you do like my videos, please consider subscribing. Oh, and while I'm on the subject, thanks ever so much for all of you that have subscribed. It is really appreciated. I've now been accepted for monetization, so I'm being paid, albeit just small amounts. It's more or less just pocket money, but it does help me buy small bits of equipment like lapel mics and small lights, lenses, things like that. So I do really appreciate it, guys. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks for watching. See you soon.